Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
Jazz hands.
Now, do I look nice and refreshed?
You look a little red in the face, Garry.
14 horses today.
Wow! Garry did 14
I haven't got me. Oh my God. And I made it home just in time to have a quick shower and a tutorial with a student. Just had me tea, and now I'm on a live.
Hey, well done. Brilliant.
What, I missed
Okay.
you all.
Excellent. Well done, pal. You did it. You're here. Fabulous. Okay. Angela Hollands, top of the shop. Hi, Angela.
Angela?
Good to see you. Hi, guys. She says Susan Mitchell's here. Hi, everybody. Piers
Hiya.
here. Evening all. Noel Brown's here. Hello, Noel. Maggie Thrussell's here. Evening all. Who saw that horse shod using checker plate? Oh, my God. No, I didn't.
I haven't seen it.
No. Ooh,
I've been out working all day.
I've been busy as well. Teresa's here. Hey, from Sweden.
Hi, Teresa.
Pierce says, Maggie, I can't watch any of those things. Oh, God, no. I'd rather lick windows. Martina's here. Hi, everyone, says Martina. Oh, Susan says,
Hiya.
yes, I saw it. Angela Holland says, saw the one with the homemade clogs. Plywood and foam screwed into all 4 feet. But, oh, goodness me. Where's it going?
Why'd you put yourself through it?
Not at all. Why'd you put yourself through it? Susie Fell says, hi, everyone, from a rainy northwest UK. 3 horses trimmer tonight, including one very elderly who couldn't lift her legs up much. Oh, well done, Susie. Well done.
Well done, Susie.
Joran says, hi, all from Holland. Hi, Joran. Good to see you.
Hiya.
Metta's here. Hi, all.
Hi, Metta.
Erin's here. Hi from Ohio in USA.
Good afternoon.
Jenny Ackerstrom from Sweden.
Good
Hello
evening.
to you. Michelle's here. Hello. Anne Blake. Hello, Anne.
Hi,
Deb
Anne.
Jacks. Evening. Janet
Hi, Deb.
Welsh. Hello, everyone. Evening, everyone. Trudy Jane. Hi, you lovely lot. Hello, hello, hello. Vivian's here. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Vivian.
Ramona's here. Hello. Gosh, so many people. I'm getting exhausted.
Hola.
Ramona's. Hola. From Spain. Louise Yasinchuk. Finally able to join in. Hello, everyone. Hello, Louise. I've seen some of your posts. Good to see you. Vicky, good morning, everyone from Australia. We have had rain. We have been waiting for it since October. Lots of farmers a bit happy today. But that deserves a...
That definitely deserves, because they've been waiting for ages.
God, October, can you... Oh, my God.
9 months waiting for rain.
Oh, God,
Well,
I don't...
France and the UK have had plenty, and we could send it all to you.
Absolutely. Honestly, loads of rain we've had. Connie's here. Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Lydia Dubonneau's here. Good afternoon from Ontario, Canada. Had quite a thunderstorm last night. Nice and warm today. We're meant to be having storms, but they've passed us by. I do love a good storm, though. Jackie Kennedy. Hello, hello, hello. So glad to be back on the lives. Hello, Jackie. Good to see you. Annie Hogan. Evening. Kelly Moore. Evening, everyone. Polka had her 3rd trim today. Toes on the ground, heels getting wider, and 90% of the nail holes gone.
Awesome.
Marvellous. Brilliant job.
Get my football rattle in a minute.
Vivian says, shall we bet that they will start today? I would say, oh, you were probably right.
Oh, they're running books, and I actually think she wasn't far off.
15. Hi, lovely people.
Start?
Tomorrow's day 15.
4 minutes ago.
Nicole says tomorrow is day 15. Yes, brilliant. I hope you've enjoyed it, and don't forget if you've signed up for the 10-day, all you need to do is claim your certificate, and it'll open automatically. If you haven't, you know where to go. Look in the guidebooks. Susan says, oh, look, they've all... I'm not even going to go through all of those. Vanya's here. Hi, everyone.
I don't know who won.
I think Vivian won because she said 8:18. Everybody else was very kind. And they were just all sort of 8:12, 8:14, 8:15. It may be later. I read yesterday someone saying Garry was alone today, so it might take him a moment to get it all set up by himself. But don't doubt, he's perfectly able. It's normally him, actually, Nicole, who sets it all up usually, not me.
Yeah, I was a little bit late, and I ran upstairs 10 minutes before we were supposed to go live, and Lindsay had sorted it all for me.
Unusually, weirdly. I'm a bit like that. Okay, Jackie Kennedy. Hello, Jackie. Right. Update on Tabara. After our Zoom call with Garry and Vanya, this is in Tenerife, is it, Jackie? Garry.
Lanzarote.
I called you Jackie. Sorry.
Lanzarote.
Lanzarote. After our Zoom call with Garry and Vanya, we have trimmed her heels down to the recommended parameters. She still wasn't walking well. Today, we made her a hoof boot from a thick rubber beach shoe, as we thought that the boots she was wearing were uncomfortable at the heel. She's loading the whole foot and looking so much more comfortable. We still don't know if she will make it, but we are not giving up yet. Thank you to Vanya, Garry, and this group. We love you all.
Oh, thank you. Keep in touch. How'd you do that? I have no bloody idea. I need to get Ash to teach me.
There you go.
But my hands are a bit hurty after doing 14.
There's various ways of doing it.
Do.
That's good news, and we're glad to hear that, because I know that poor horse is in a bit of a poorly way. So we cross everything for you, Jackie. We really, really do, and for your pony. You're doing the best you can. Hey, Jackie, hooray that she is at last loading the whole foot. I will have to message Andrea. Good news. It's all happening. Checker plate is an aluminium with a raised checker pattern on it. I think somebody asked what it was. Maggie Thrussell, a metal sheet with checker pattern on it. I used to have checker plate on the back of my truck. I like checker plate. It's good. But not on horses' feet. Hi from Germany, says Uta. Hello, Uta. Angie Medler. Hi from Virginia. Hi.
Hi, Angie.
Malin's here. Hello, everyone. Hello, Malin.
Hi, Malin.
Ooh. Week 2, you guys. Week 2. How's it going? You're in week 2. Hello, says Monica from Czech. Christina Reynolds. Hi, everyone from Florida, USA. And Nikki's here. We have been waiting 8 months for sun. Yeah, you've been waiting 8 months for rain. We've been waiting 8 months for sun.
I think that was in response to Vicky with regards to the rain in Australia.
Yeah, yes. Exactly. 14 horses. That puts my 4 today to shame. Got stamped on and big bruise coming on foot. New steel toe caps needed. You live and learn, don't you?
It's
learn through pain.
Learning on the job.
It is.
Get out of the way.
Called learning on the job and learning in pain. Well done, Nikki. I hope you've not caused
Hope
too
you
much
heal
problem.
very soon, and it's okay. 4 is an achievement.
It is. 4 is
an achievement.
What's the most?
I'm just so awesome. I did 10 more.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think what the most I've ever done in a day. I think it was around about 25. I think it was the most I ever did in a day. And that
I did 25.
You and I, when we went to that stud farm, we
went to a stud farm.
We did nearly 40, didn't we?
We did 40 between us.
That was
never again.
No.
Never again.
No.
That was an experience that we needed to experience, so we knew never to do it again.
We did. And when you do a lot of horses, you can't do a lot of traveling. So when I've got a lot of horses in, it tends to be in one place, doesn't it?
Yes. On Thursday, I've got 17 in one place.
Yeah. 17.
And
17, He-Man!
And not only that, all of the people that are there are mums. So they have to pick up kids. So I arrive at 9 o'clock and I have to be finished by 2:30.
Dentist time.
10 to 10.
No, that's cowboy time. 10 to 10.
Oh, 2:30. Of course it's 2:30.
2:30 is dentist time. 2:30. That's right. For all of those that don't speak English, that's just us trying to be silly, as we always are. Right, what do we go? But yeah, cowboy time.
I got it mixed up. I'm tired.
10 to 10, 10, 10, 10. Right, what are we going
back
to do?
To 14 horses, though, Nikki.
Oh yeah, sorry.
If anyone had seen me trying to get up off the floor because my 14th was a Shetland, They would have thought I was 103 instead of 53. I can tell you that for nothing.
Oh, my back. Oh, I've been there. And you end up using your rasp, don't you, as a push-up, and you're like, "God, I'm old.
Yeah,
I
rasp
feel
in one
old.
hand and the hoof stand in the other. Oh, there it's pushing me up.
Oh, I feel old. I feel old." Oh, well. Right. What are we going to do today? What are we going to do? Are we going to go through the Phoenix group, or is there something you'd like to talk about? You tell us. What is it going to be?
Before we came on air, there was I went through a couple of posts, and I see that Noel is here, and she put a post up, and I think that would be really opportune to have a look at.
Okay. Are you still with us, Noel? Let's go and have a look. Let's go and
Well,
have.
I'm hoping it's the same Noel because all I saw was the first name.
I just have to say, I'm just cancel out Vivian Ulrich or Phoenix Group. Just sort it out and get in there. Phoenix Group. Vivian, I did when I do go in there and I do scoot through, I think, Hoof Nerdy Vet's been in again. Hoof Nerdy Vet's been in again. She's here.
Doing a
Okay.
fabulous job there, Vivian.
You are doing a fabulous job. I think,
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
I
you
think
so much.
Stuart called you Vetty. Vetty Vivian. That's what we'll have to call you.
Betty Vivian.
Vetty Vivian. Vetty Vivian.
Betty
Right.
Vivian.
Okay, it's my post. Yes, it is. No, right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go and have a look. Okay, Yoran. No, I'll straight to it. Okay. I think if I do that, it takes it to a separate page, doesn't it? All right. Oh, that's big. Can you see it?
Yes.
Hello, everyone. This is my new horse. He is an 8-year-old quarter horse. I bought him home knowing that he has a diagnosis of navicular syndrome. 8 years old, Garry. He is not super lame, but clearly tender on hard ground and walking toe first. I am waiting for the previous owner to send me his radiographs. Veterinary advice was, hang on a minute,
Shoe.
Advice was shoes with wedge pads. Of course it was. Let's wedge him up. And yeah, she had previously sold him and he was returned to her in this condition. Okay. He's getting his feet trimmed tomorrow by a farrier I have met or used before, as I am new to my area. I have never met. When was this? 5 hours ago. Where do you live, Noel? Tell us where you live. I have, however, looked into him and seen pictures of his work. Well, that's good. Bit of due diligence. I'm hoping for some advice on my boy's front feet so I can guide my farrier to the best results. Good luck with that. His feet only, not because it's just because they don't tend to be guided. His feet are overdue for trimming. As you can see, he is walking on his toes and wearing down his toe. He also has squishy, deep central sulcus thrush, which is very sensitive. Would you or would you not walk on your toes if you had a very sensitive back of the foot?
I think this horse is being very sensible.
I think it's been very sensible. It's
Very
going,
sensible.
I can't load the back of my foot because it's sore. I will begin treating it right away. I plan to put him in boots if needed during his recovery. Any advice would be appreciated. So let's go in. Let's have oh, that looks like that's been superimposed on that. That's weird. Very weird, didn't it?
It does, doesn't it?
Okay, so what we got going on here, Noel? Well, we have got incorrect hoof care for sure. It's not. I don't know if we've got a balanced shot. We'll just go through. I'll just go through with what we can see here. Shout up, Garry, if you see
Sure.
something that I don't. So we have got a bit of a sulcus here, but doesn't look deep particularly. And probably would be a ton better if the heels, etc., and quarters and whatever was following the hard sole plane. because this horse with his higher heels has a very shortened surface area. Right now, a lot of people who believe horses are in pain with the back of the foot, and that, and it's quite possibly that he is, and we need to look in the bar area, but this is a bit dirty at the moment, and any infection that's under the bar. People go, oh no, don't bring the heels back because that's going to make him more sore or make her more sore, and so hence the reason I stick it in shoes and wedges. But it's a short-term fix. And of course, what is that going to do to the foot? You're not going to be balancing it properly. And putting a wedge in is going to raise the heels against the balance. And before you know it, you've got a problem with P3. So that doesn't seem like a logical thing to do, does it? No, let's move on. Okay, so this is just a shot of the same foot. Can't really see around here, but it looks a bit like we've got overgrown bars. You see that little fracture line there and there. That's okay. It's not a massive amount. Oh, is that on my screen or is that on their screen? Did you fly? May have had something going on down there, but this isn't really bad. This isn't that deep. At least it doesn't look that deep. So yeah, but you have got quite a bit of heel there on this horse.
It's interesting that she says that he seems to be quite sensitive on the back of the foot.
When you press the back of the foot.
Yeah, so there must be something in there.
Well, a
Maybe
navicular,
an abscess brewing, maybe.
but the navicular bone, can you see my pointer?
Yeah.
So the navicular bone is located just here, right underneath there, with a digital cushion in the way, of course, to help cushion that navicular bone as the fetlock and P1 and P2 come back and push down onto the navicular bone, which pushes into the digital cushion. So if we have got problems back there, we need to be looking at the whole horse. So what's been happening to the whole horse? How has he been kept? How has he been trimmed? How has he been ridden? He's 8 years old. He's bound to. Has he been in shoes before? Was he ridden under false collection? Was he forced to do quite a bit of stuff at an early age? There's a whole host of things that you need to look at when you are looking into navicular syndrome, which is all to do with the podotrochlear apparatus, which is all to do with everything that started usually above the foot and continued because of incorrect hoof care. All right, so let's have a little look-see here. Looks fairly balanced. What's different? That's not the same foot, is it? Might be. Okay, keeping. Oh, what we got going on there? That doesn't look like the same foot to me. What have I got? Front right. Come on, Lindsay. Read. Oh, it is front right.
Yeah, well, it's marked up the same.
Yeah, front right. Yeah, I don't think there's a major infection going on in there. And I don't think the heels are massively overgrown in this image, but they are above the heart sole plane, right?
Yeah.
So you got to do that. But you got to tell him he's got to leave that toe alone. Mustn't touch the toe or you're going to have deepy problems. You can see here that the hoof wall is above the heart sole plane and you've got a bit of callousing going on there. But I think the toe wall is on the ground. So when you bring them heels back down, you are going to have toe wall on the ground. So yeah, and this is all happening because he's starting to toe walk a bit more because look at the state of the heels. This is the front left. Can I just show you how different the front right looks to the front left? Isn't it interesting? Do we know, Noel, how long ago this horse was trimmed? Because this is a different kettle of fish to the other foot. So this one is showing us that we got a deeper sulcus here. So this is a little bit more of a problem. We've got bigger bars and we've got longer heels and we've got a ton of hoof wall above the sole, and we've not even found the hard sole plane yet.
Lots of contraction.
So yeah, and he's loading through the quarters, which means mediolaterally, that's not going to be pleasant. Okay, so this is a foot crying out for a trim, and looky here.
Yeah.
So this is his front left, more of a
This is going
problem.
to be the more painful one, I would imagine.
Yeah, so that's got to be treated. So that's with thrush cream and antiseptic cream. Squeeze them together, mix them up. You got to put that in every day for 6 weeks, every day. And then after 6 weeks, every other day for another 6 weeks, literally that long. And then the next 6 weeks, we've gone 12 weeks now. And then the final 6 weeks, you'd put it in around about 2 to 3 times a week. And if you do that, and then after that, once a week, if you do that, you have got a really good chance of curing and curing. This will open up. This will start to disappear. Also, the heels will be trimmed back properly. The frog will start getting some contact. There's little problems you've got in here too. You'll get all of the balance correct because 2 trims in, he'll start to shape the foot that he needs, and then gradually, eventually, things will start to settle down. Yeah, that ain't clever. So, has he always been barefoot, or was he in shoes? I don't remember what you said. Quarters are active. Hello, buddy. Hello, darling.
Oh, what a handsome chap.
Oh, lovely, isn't he?
Mm.
So, obviously, in a softer surface, he's going to be able to sink into that softer surface
Well done, Noel.
much easier. Gosh, he is pretty, says Nicole. Fine out. He is. He's lovely. What he looks like, a kind soul, as most of them do. Back to the same one again. Right, yeah. So, what I would say, let me go back. I bought him. It's only 8. She's not split. Okay, so just to reiterate, this is not going to follow his natural foot, is it? And you need to. When any horse has any problem, any horse, just not even horses with that problem, you need to follow the natural foot. And he looks to me like he hasn't had his natural foot followed for a long time. I mean, I can't be sure about that because the feet are overgrown, but it's likely that they have been trimmed in this way. It's likely that the person been trimming has not been trimming to the hard sole plane. So that's what you need to do. All right. You need to be fixing the thrush, fixing the trim.
Don't let them take the toe off.
Don't let them take the toe off. Because if you let them take the toe off, it's just going to make matters really, really bad for your horse, and you're not got a balance point. So don't do that.
And between now and the next trim, because obviously your first trim, you're going to be sussing out your new farrier. I would thoroughly advise getting onto the challenges because that will give you a whole load more information to pass on to your hoof care professional. It means that you can keep an eye on them. You gain a lot from these lives and from watching the videos, but the challenges will just line everything up for you.
Yes, indeed. Okay. Right. I hope that helps. Nicole says, I love Hoof Nerdy Vet. Christina says, yes, Vivian. Vivian goes, stop it. My face is turning a deep rose. Betty.
We need a picture, Vivian.
Hoof Nerdy Betty. Noel, she's in Washington State. Okay, so quite a long way from us. But you know what you can do, Noel? This could be, it could be
you
a
could fly me
relatively...
over, Noel. I really don't mind.
If you learn, honestly, Noel, this is how he means it. If you learn a little bit more about trimming, this isn't a tricky foot to trim.
No,
it really isn't. You could do this yourself.
Well, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
No, you could definitely do this yourself and get it right. I'm always nervous when somebody else comes along to trim a foot, especially if you don't know them. Please don't be up the other end holding the rope. Be all eyes on You need to be seeing exactly what's going on at all times. The other foot is worse. So that
we were looking at the right, and then we went to the left. Yeah.
we spotted that. We did spot that. Hello from Czech,
Sandra?
says Sandra. Hello, darling. I don't know, but I think it's been at least a few months or more. What, from the trim? Okay.
That's not surprising. But
So
even so, the both feet are so different,
yes,
which would indicate that they are being trimmed differently.
and he's loading differently.
And he's loading differently because he's got pain more in one foot than he is the other.
That's correct. He was in shoes. It's all, you start to pick up the picture, don't you? And you start to sort of so what does he need? He needs a good trim. Certainly needs a good diet management, but hopefully he'll start getting on top of that. And he needs just movement of his to start with, until his feet start getting used to his natural foot again and they start to wake up. I wouldn't be riding him for 6 to 12 weeks at least. I wouldn't be doing any of that. Give him time, and even maybe longer than that. Give him a good 3 months of good trims, good diet, good movement, and you may have to put him in boots while he's a bit sore, but get on top of that thrush.
I know you haven't had him very long. Is he teamed up with a friend?
Yeah. Has that
Mental
happened yet?
stimulation, and that is really helpful for them to be motivated to move, and that really does speed up healing too.
Yeah, it does. I don't plan on ever putting him back in shoes. Good girl. Well, it's pointless because it's not a fix, and we want to fix him, right? We want to fix him. It just prolongs the inevitable and gradually makes it worse, no matter what anybody says. It does, because you can't balance properly. They've got active areas where they should have passive areas, and da-di-da-di-da. Thank you so much. You're very welcome, my lovely. Go check out all the challenge information, etc. Hi, Aston. Sorry, she says I'm late.
Hi, Aston.
Christine says, yes, please come visit us in the USA, Florida. We're hoping to next year. For sure, we're coming over. He will be in with my other horse. Lovely. Good stuff. All good. Mental stimulation, physical stimulation, good trims, good diet to keep the inflammation at bay, because he's getting lots and lots of hay. Don't fill him up with alfalfa. Don't fill him up with sweet feeds. Good mixed hay. It's not cereal hay and all of those sorts of things. So very, very good. Marvelous. Should we go back in and have a look?
Seeing progress.
Yeah, let's go back in. Let's go back into the Phoenix group. Let's go see what else has been going on in there. And everybody noticed it's gone up to 8.2 thousand members. Look. Ooh.
I noticed that yesterday.
Yeah. La 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 la. Right, let's move on.
The family keeps growing.
The family keeps growing. I'll take that. Actually, I better just unpin that because it's not needed that anymore. That's us. Anyone in Kent Maidstone area, where do you get your mixed meadow hay from? How can I test what my hay is? Well, Vicky Plummer, don't test. Look, take out all the hay heads. That's right. And check, see what it is.
Check. So take a selection of seed heads, and then stick them somewhere so we can see them, and then post them up. That's the best thing. But if you want to be quick, really, you just want to make sure that you haven't got anything like alfalfa or rye in it. That's the one thing. That's the two things that you really hone in on to make sure that you haven't got. And then it's pretty good. Less grass, more hay.
Absolutely. Okay, this is Abby Spiller. I've got a lot of docks and weeds on my track, which is around a regular livery paddock, which will be left to be trashed in the winter, and next year we'll have zero grass. Hey. Anyway, docks and weeds. Should I bother treating them or just leave them and hope they will get trashed in the winter, come back in the spring? They will. Just having a look around. The reason folks want to kill docks off is because they use it space for grass, which I could care less about. Photo example of what I'm dealing with. Right. So my way I feel about it is leave them. Other people will say don't leave them because they'll take over. Within reason, what they will do is they will make areas, and your horses will move around them. So where we are in our tracks, we've got a few little mounds, and we've got areas where the horses go to the loo, and that's where a lot of docks grow, and a lot of other weedy things grow, and they make their own kind of pathways around and through them. So they make a track a little bit more, dare I say, entertaining by just having a bit more herbage on there. I'm not going to eat it, but it might be that they avoid that area a little bit more, and so it makes them move around. Can you see also, this is quite wide, this part of the track. Can you see the bit that they're using over and over and over? This brown bit here, the darker color. And if it was me, I'd probably be because it looks like that this is a bit of a muddy area. So from sort of this post in, I think I'd make more of that and make this more of a narrow traveling area. And don't forget, you need to have hay in areas of the track. Looks like you might have, that might be just stones. Oh, hello. So yes, that would be our advice. Don't worry about it, Abby. Move on. It's fine. It'll add a little bit of interest, is what it will do. Would you agree, Garry?
Yes. And isn't it interesting how when you leave land, how it has this magic ability to rewild itself? It's almost that it settles down. Yes, you'll have areas that have got more dock, and then you might find, because we've got quite a lot of nettle and we've got quite a lot of mint, and they find their own places, and they tend to come up when the horses might need them.
Yeah.
And also with bigger plants like dock, I know they're not so much aesthetically pleasing, but because they are a big plant, they actually stop grass from growing. Yay!
With the big leaves.
Big leaves, lots of shadow, less grass. What's not to like?
Yeah, and it adds all that little bit more of it, and they've got to walk
A
around
bit
the
more
docks.
interesting. Yeah.
That will it stop them coming up next year when you trash it?
No.
Fred, no. So it won't do that.
And they will. All the
The only
docks
thing that will do that is if
disappear
you
in the winter.
yeah, they always disappear.
Everything disappears in the winter, and it just comes back up next year.
And narrow the track a little bit.
Yes.
Susan Garvin says, what's the do on hay that has been cut before fully mature? So no heads there, really. It's lovely looking at hay. Smells great, almost no rye, but is it safe to cut it early? Thanks.
Well, first off, at the end of that comment, how do you know whether there's no rye in it if there's no seed heads?
Just saying.
You don't.
No. So
unless you know the field particularly. So you've seen it with seed heads, and then it's a second cut or an early cut. So if you know the field, then obviously you may know what the seed mix is. But if you're just getting hay in and there's no seed heads on it, you can't tell what's in it.
That's right. You know, the thing is with hay, it's and cuts. What worries me when we start talking about cuts is the fact that why for mixed meadow hay would we want to cut it too early? Are we cutting it early because we're trying to get a couple of yields out of it? And therefore, if we're doing that and it's mixed meadow, we're likely having to be fertilizing it. Now, I know we don't have an awful lot of control over that, but when people start talking about cuts, you kind of know that if the farmer's saying, oh, it's a first cut or it's a second cut, he's fertilizing. And he's going to be wanting to cut it slightly earlier so that he can get it back in the ground again, so he can, or just let it grow again, so he can get a second yield out of it. That's my issue with when we start talking about cuts. Ideally, you want to have hay that has got the seed head on it. So it's got to the point where it's produced its seed head, because for one, you can see it, and you can work out what's in your hay, and also it's the content of the grass, the hay, changes because it's got to seed level now. It's got a little bit more stalky. You don't want it too stalky, because horses aren't too keen on stalky straw-like hay. Not really. They prefer a sort of middle ground. So not really soft and not really stalky, a sort of in between. Basically, when the seed heads are up, and couple of weeks, few weeks after that, boom, not weeks and weeks and weeks after that. So seed head is really where we want it to be. That's roughly in the area that we want it to be, without it getting too stalky, because the longer you leave it, the lower the nutrients are, that they tend to drop, and the greener and earlier it is and the leafier it is, the more you're going to get in there, the richer the hay. That's sort of the area where you're going to have that softer, greener hay. But what it go, you leave it up till seed head, cut that, and if it grows again and they cut that again, it's never going to get its chance to come up to seed head, and that really will be green and leafy, and that's the realm of rabbit hay, basically. Soft rabbit hays. That's the gold standard for people who keep rabbits. They like that kind of hay, not the type of hay that we feed our horses. But we want it to be as mixed as possible, don't we? And if you have rye in there, rye is an indicator species, which will tell you that it isn't very mixed. So people will say, "Oh, I've only got a bit of rye in there." Well, what's a bit? What you might think is a bit, and what I might think in a bit is completely different, right? And also, it's going to have an impact on the other species that are around that hay. Don't know whether I answered that really. Very few heads. We want more heads. More seed heads, please. Not too early. Cutting early because it rains so much here and a dry spell is grabbed. No fertilizer and not for stock. Okay, so is it your hay? Is it yours, Susan? Yeah. I don't like to feed hay that hasn't got seed heads on it. I'm not a fan of that. I prefer to have the seed heads in place. So, but I get it. I get it's difficult. I totally get it. I know what it's like. Having kept my horses in farms for many years, I know what it's like and how difficult it can be in getting that perfect weather window. I know what it's like. I would rather leave it a little bit later than take it too early. I think my answer would be for that. We fertilise our fields with seaweed from the beach. Lovely. Bladderwrack. I'm not sure how much, Christina, I'm not sure how much you deal with anhydrosis where you're at, but my mare has got it for the second time. Any suggestions? We are in Florida. Anhydrosis.
Anhydrosis is when the animal has the inability to sweat.
Oh, interesting. Because something that is anhydrous.
Not something that I've come across personally, but apparently it's more so in horses and humans, as opposed to other animals, which I think is really interesting because we're nothing alike.
Was that Prince Andrew?
What?
Was that Prince
Andrew?
Andrew?
He couldn't. Yeah, he doesn't sweat, does he?
So anhydrosis. So because I'm reading it going anhydrosis. Well, something is anhydrous, so that means that it will take up water. So if you've got something that is anhydrous, it will take up water. So, well, you tell us about it. I'd be very interested to know myself. To be fair,
not something that I've come across.
Not something I really know.
But it's something.
Yes, they stopped sweating. It's a huge problem in Florida. So what do people do for that? Do they give them more salt? Do they allow them to take in more salt, or they're not needing it because they're not sweating? How do people deal with that? Very interesting.
There's
Very
lots of
interesting.
questions that would come into mind, wouldn't it? Why aren't they sweating? And yes, there would be hundreds of questions.
And if they're not sweating, does that cause? Well, I don't know. Does it cause major problems? I mean, I have to tell you that it's hot here. It's not probably as hot as where you are, but it gets to a good. It can get to good 35 and be that 35 up to 40 for quite a few weeks, and we don't necessarily see horses sweating that much. We
No,
really don't. It's not dripping off them, not like
no.
we do. They don't seem to sweat that much, but I get it that the environment could be different and the humidity level, it can be different. Our horses, if we can, when it's really hot, we allow them to get really cool shade. So we've got areas that they can get some really cool shade. So that would be important. But yeah, tell us more. There's no consensus. Interesting. I shall have to go and look it up. Vivian says beer.
Cheers.
Cheers, Vivian. Cheers.
Thank you for
That
sharing.
helps, does it? Dark beer. Look at this. Look at this. We're learning. Dark beer sometimes works. Does it?
I don't sweat enough. I'm going to have to go and have a beer.
So interesting. I can't wait to get off the live, Christina. I'm going to go and research it. It's going to be so interesting.
I know
I have
it's
no
it's
idea.
a problem. We shouldn't joke about it, but yes, we'd have to. I wonder why beer helps. I've got so many questions.
Hops.
I need to know more.
We will go and find out more, Christina. I am going to go on Detective Lindsay. It's going to go and find out more. It's very common and they completely overheat if not monitors. I can imagine so. I can imagine so. So what do you do? What do you do? It's quite common in PPID horses, apparently, and a lot of people seem to think beer or Guinness helps. Well, we know what to give them.
I can totally agree. Beer and Guinness helps. I prefer beer in the summer, and
alcohol.
Guinness is in the winter.
You know why? Because it will vasodilate. That's what will happen. And PPID horses often can go the other way, of course. They can get too hot and sweaty. But I think people always need to bear in mind what happens with these animals in the nighttime too. So whatever it is we're going to do with them in the daytime, remember they've got to go through the night as well.
Yeah.
Interesting, though. I'm going to go look it up. Vivian says, beer for the non-sweaters daily. I saw it for a big draft. I'm not sure on that one.
Non-alcoholic beer?
I'm so going to look that up. Garry, you're a hoot.
I think I'm just going into delirium of being tired.
Maybe the yeast. Maybe. Or I don't know. I think it's more to do with what alcohol does to your body. It vasodilates, and of course, if you're constricting, you're not going to sweat. If you vasodilate, you're bringing more blood to the surface of the skin, and thereby you're cooling. You're allowing the body to cool. Because I don't know about you, but have you ever had a glass of alcohol and makes your face go red within minutes? Oh, I feel a bit warm now. I'm cold. I'll have a whiskey to make me warm. Could be that. I don't know, because I'm interested. You've piqued my curiosity now, Christina. I should be going. Sorry, I'm just going off to look up anhydrosis. Misting system, electrolytes, and shade. Definitely shade. Definitely electrolytes. But don't forget that a good way of doing that is letting them choose, and that we don't give it to them, overgive it to them. And what was the other thing you said? Misting. Yeah. So at Longmarsh, Chloe set up a whole misting area in the barn. So she had
I'm sure Bethan's done it in previous years as well. But it hasn't been hot enough this year, has
it's
it?
not been flipping hot enough.
Not in the UK
so
anyway.
what you get from the garden centre, right, in a long string. Pss, 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 It's my version of misting. Pss, pss, pss. And they can walk underneath it. Oh, and be misted. It's great. I love it. Sandra, guys working in glass factories drink beer here in Czech. Well, I'm coming to work in a glass factory then.
They
Garry,
go in to do work and they come out with a hangover.
they come out piddle-eyed. And mind you, I have to say, Sandra, because Sandra was the one that got us our glass Phoenix. Oh, they're so amazing. But now you've said that they were drunk while they did it. I'm interested.
And
Nicola,
clever.
yes, I'm very clever. I wonder if the anhydrosis spurts were after a change in weather. I sweat a ton in the Amazon, but then flew to cool Lima and didn't sweat, and my body had to pee no less than 18 times a day while I was there. Interesting.
So drastic weather changes could potentially
Humidity.
humidity as well. Yeah.
Well, we know that it affects the transpiration rate of plants, don't we? And it's going to affect, because how do we sweat? What is sweating? And I wonder, because horses lather. Actually, they don't sweat. They lather.
They lather, and it's
They
rich in
lather,
latherin.
and which is rich. Yes, that's right. Which is yes, latherin is something that is produced by the horse that is a surfactant, and it enables the greasy parts of the skin to move. I'm going off on one, to move the greasy, oily bits away so that the sweat can get out. I wonder if there's something to do with that's a bit of an issue. Latherin. I wonder if they're not producing enough latherin. I wonder. I don't know. I'm going to have to
We
research.
need to know more.
Do it. I haven't got time now. I could, if you like, just clear off and we could just go research. I could share my screen. We'll go researching on Dr. Google. He'll tell us. It says Sarah, I had a lone pony with this and he came with instructions to like a guidebook to give Guinness. Vet said it was something to do with the yeast. Well, right, that's it. I can't take it any longer.
We're going to get, because everybody's fascinated. It's a new word, a new thing, and
Anhydrosis gives you can't sweat perspire normally, and areas of sweating helps remove heat from your body so you can cool down. No shit, Sherlock. Right. As in horses. Hello, Hosse. Is defined as a decreased ability to sweat response to increased body temperature. Failure to sweat has been described in both horses and man, and it manifests primarily in hot, humid climates. So we see, like Florida. We said humidity was a problem, didn't we? We did. How do you treat it?
what are the adverse effects? Just we're saying that the horse is not sweating, but it's in a hot and humid environment. So what happens to the horses? Do they? Well, they can't become dehydrated.
Hang on a minute. Hang on. How is it? Oh, look, beer. It's top. It comes right in at the top. Here we go. What is it going to be? Right. Let's have a look. Since changing a horse's environment or moving them is not always possible, equine science is trying to find a medication to treat them. One such method of treatment is to give them beer a day. Unfortunately, using beer as a treatment for anhydrosis has not been scientifically proven. Right. It contains things like tyrosine, which is an amino acid, some B vitamins, cobalt, niacin, and other things. And it's been shown to help horses who sweat. Beer has not been shown through research to help horses sweat, but anecdotally, you hear about it. Right? Okay. Is it good to give horses beer? Although it adds a very small amount of calories relative to a horse's overall intake, I would not give an overweight horse a steady diet of beer, but 1 or 2 beers a week will definitely do no harm. Really? Says who? Right. It's weird. What is it? Dark beer. Here we go. Dark beer. Especially, I'd be going, you have a sip, I'll have a sip. You have a sip, I'll have a sip. Dark beer, especially Guinness, have long been recommended in the horse world for anhydrosis. Where have we been, Garry? We've been under a rock. I feel like we've been under a rock.
Well, we haven't really. We've
been under the feet. That's what we've been doing.
We've been under the feet, and we don't get that humid.
Boyd Martin, of course, is a believer, and Zenyatta drank Guinness as well, containing important B vitamins, such as thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, pantothenic acid, biotin, folic acid, B6, which, of course, you do get an awful lot of that from the diet and from the microbes in the gut. But, is it okay to drink? What does alcohol do for horses? Let's have this one bit. Do not stall confine your horse immediately after intense exercise. It's very important to allow them to gradually cool down. Rubbing alcohol pulls heat from the body, but it also dries the skin. So only give your horse an alcohol bath free. What? Right. Right, let's go into this one. Western Horseman. Hello. Right. When reining a horse, stop sweating, quick diagnosis, treatment help. For having a name like Sailor, the horse didn't get wet much. That when the 5-year-old bay quarter horse was donated equestrian team, blah blah blah. She says 2 months training her, but I was off hold my mountain. Right. I could tell that internally something wasn't right. Instead, I'm just scanning. Anhydrosis is a condition of the body unable to sweat. Warning signs include intense laboured breathing. Yes. Flared nostrils, increased body temperature, and little to no sweat. Untreated, it can lead to heat stroke and death. Well, that's no bloody good, is it? You can have a horse that is partially anhydrotic, meaning he will sweat a little bit, but the horse is not able to sweat to the capacity of regular. Or they can be complete and the sweating system was shut down. Right. Where's the beer bit? I want the beer bit. Oh, so overstimulated. Why overstimulated search to imbalanced dopamine? Where's the beer? Right. Yeah, B vitamins. Yeah. Oh God. This is supplements again, isn't it? No, electrolytes. Electrolyte. No, this doesn't say anything about beer. Oh, and Sailor still gets his daily beer as part of the treatment. Where's the beer bit? I missed it. Oh. I don't know. At a quick scan from Dr. Google, I've no idea. Yep. I'm with you, Vivian. I'm with you. Alcohol is metabolized in the liver as if it were fructose. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. Don't catch me drinking it. It's not healthy, and I wouldn't be giving it. Like I wouldn't feed my horse.
Rewind.
I wouldn't feed my horse bread. Is it something they're going to likely find in the wild? No. Why? I want to know why these horses suffer like this. Is it because we're doing too much with them? Because I know it gets absolutely stonking hot in the Great Basin, but then maybe it doesn't get so humid. I don't know. I'm going to research. What's that Willie Nelson song? A Whiskey for My Horses? Jackie, I'm with you, Lindsay. Could read about it all night. Yeah. Sorry, I'll come back to the live now, Lindsay. Stop getting out there and getting on Dr. Google. Right, what's Christine say? Dark beer did work for my mare the first time, but this year when the heat kicked in and I noticed she wasn't switching as much as she normally would, so I gave her a week of dark beer treatment, and she started sweating, but then stopped again. I'm going to do another week of dark beer treatment again, but I just wanted to know if you have ever dealt with it or any ideas. No, but I don't like the idea of giving horses alcohol.
And also,
doesn't sit well with me for the very reasons that alcohol does to the cells in the body.
And also, we've talked about the condition anhydrosis, but what is the detrimental effect?
Well, the fact that if they can't sweat, they can't cool down.
So they're overheating?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
But again, if they can find lots of shade and they're drinking enough, and
our horses don't sweat very much. We got up to 45 degrees.
But are we talking about anhydrosis? Tell us, Christina, are we talking about anhydrosis as being a bad thing, as being a thing when you're riding them and you're pushing them to do work in that heat, or is this just in general?
Yeah.
Angie says they get overheated. Was kind of dealing with this today. He was hot and panting, but his temperature wasn't too high. Very hot and humid today. He was like harnessing a wood stove at the start. Rocky Suffolk punch. Lydia, no, it's whiskey for my men and beer for my horses. Oh my God, what are we talking about here?
That's the Willie Nelson song.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Well, there you go. I learned something new there. Susie says sweat also helps them get rid of nasty molecules. Oh, yes. Well, sweating is a very important part of keeping the body nice and cool. No, just in general, I haven't ridden her in a while. It's interesting. I find it interesting. I shall look into it because everybody seems to know all about it other than us. But I am interested to know why Sarah ended up with a horse with anhydrosis living on the Isle of Taree, which I'm pretty sure doesn't get as hot as Florida. Interesting.
I don't think that the Isle of Taree gets any heat, does it, of any consequence? She's in
Okay.
July and still in winter clothes.
Susan's, remember that when the Olympics were in some horribly hot place, they had misting areas for the horses. Very important. That's good. Cool. We are in a warmer climate for most of the year, but our horses don't sweat so much. Yes. It's interesting. In humid weather, convection does not function properly and not cooling down the horse. They overheat faster in humid weather. That's why I said humidity's the problem. It's the humidity that's the issue. If it yeast, maybe Marmite might work. Can't stand the stuff myself. Oh, I love Marmite.
Oh, love Marmite.
You either love it or you hate it.
We love it.
We love it.
Twiglets are
Just thinking about
just
it
the
right
best.
now. And if I've got to give a shout out right now for a
Graze,
Marmite flavored snack, it would be
graze,
Garry.
graze,
Grays. Thank you, Grays. We love you,
graze.
Grays.
They're
Marmite
like
Grays
this little
is
tiny
the
squishy things.
best. Oh, I
Oh,
love it. Oh, it's
Thursday,
lovely. Little
a week
broad beans.
Thursday, Linz.
Thursday, we're having
Week Thursday
Marmite
in the
Grays.
UK,
Marmite Grays.
Marmite Graze, travelling in the truck.
So no, it was my old pony as a kid, but it was still Scotland. So yeah, the mind boggles. Horse was a drunk and very rude. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the thought of giving horses alcohol. It goes against my grain. Love it, says Jackie Kennedy. Okay, right. Well, I think that brings it to an end this evening,
Oh, that was
guys.
interesting, wasn't it?
It was interesting. Thank you for enlightening us with your obsession about giving horses beer and
Yeah.
dark beer, Guinness. Oh yes, Maggie says. Oops, sorry, wrong one. Maggie says when my husband makes a stew, he puts Marmite in it. So do I. I put
We
Marmite.
make Marmite onion gravy.
We do.
Yum, yum.
Yes, we do. We put Marmite in our gravy because it darkens it as well. It's
Yeah.
lovely and it's just nice. Could you comment on Belinda's post? Some confusion needs to be cleared up. God, I've got
Oh, we
time.
left that a bit late.
Hang on.
Sorry, Lydia.
Hang on, Lydia.
I'll be quick.
You've got to let us know. Oh, who is it we're looking for? That's nice. I like the skeleton.
Belinda.
Belinda Carlisle. Right. Okay. Gosh, that's a name from the past, isn't it?
We've got no surname, so you're just going to have to.
Did she say Belinda? She did say Belinda.
Just says Belinda's post.
Oh.
So you're just going to have to scroll, I reckon.
I'll have to scroll. It's going to make me
too
feel
many
sick.
Belindas.
Oh, it better not be too far away because
I'm not looking because otherwise
that was
I'll throw up.
interesting. Your horse is getting better, I think, from what you've been talking about. And yeah, yes, I'll comment on that, but I think you're all right and definitely not shoes, my lovely. Aston, yeah. Oh, this one. Don't we have a policy, Garry, that we don't allow external links on our page?
Yes.
Why is it there, admins? I want to know. Sorry, Belinda. I know it was very interesting for you, but we do have a policy of no external links on the page, right? Because if we do it for you, we do it for everyone. However, let's have a quick look. I know that you have posted before about this, Belinda, because that was I saw that. Some of you may have seen this presentation. Please, can someone knowledgeable explain why my Phoenix breath is better? I'm new. My brain is utterly boggled. All I see experts saying they're right and the other is wrong. Well, that's life. But they don't explain why the other thinks they are right and why is wrong. Well, we do. We explain it all the time. And we also explain why incorrect hoof care and unnatural hoof care is wrong as well. We do. We explain it all the time. And we give evidence. What you need to start asking these groups, everyone, is where are your case studies? Not just photographs. I don't want to see just photographs. I want to see case studies of horses rehabbing without shoes, getting better. My horses don't have their heels trimmed and her heels trimmed, and I'm being told here to trim them down. But when compared to the wild horse example, mine are walking on their bulbs. What? Well, you have to trim to the hard sole plane, my lovely, because if you don't, you're guessing. And that is guesswork. So what we got here then? Ooh. I don't want to have to click on their link. Well, okay, what am I looking at here? I'm looking at a horse with a shoe on. So there's nothing natural about that, is there? I think that's as far as we need to go, don't we? Because if he's got a shoe on, it looks slightly wedged to me. And they're trying to do things to angles without actually looking at the horse's natural parameters. That toe is being bull-nosed, and it looks like they're trying to over-shorten it. It looks like it's probably a hind foot, apart from the fact that I can see side clips, but that doesn't always say that it's a hind foot, but that's what it kind of looks like. And that doesn't look like they're following the horse's natural parameters, and P3 probably is not in its correct position. I'm not going to guess. Nobody should guess at all how the horse wants its foot or the angles the horse wants it in, and you should not try and get those angles. Okay, so and if that is where that horse's heel is, all the way under there, that's just the angle of the papilla, isn't it? So yeah, that might have to get removed. Just because we have a policy, Belinda. What did other people say? Ashton says, welcome. Oh, this looks lovely. Lots of go look at videos. Celia says, are you not trimming to Mother Nature? The video explains why high heels cause P3 to tip. Yeah, by doing. And at the end of the day, right, the problem that you have is if you are not following the horse's natural parameters, you're guessing. That's it. That's all you need to say. That's it. Full stop. It's personal preference trimming. I'm putting a shoe on and I've made that horse's foot longer than it naturally would be. I've made the heels longer than they would naturally be. I've screwed up the natural wear patterns because now I've just made everything active. And I don't know whether they've left the nails proud. Not only is that causing vibrations and issues and concussion and all of that through the horse's hoof, up through the quarters, really bad. Not only are you doing that every single time the horse puts his foot down, but you're contracting the back of the foot and you're causing issues. So you can't compare a shod foot to a natural foot. You just can't, because the poor foot that's in the shoe is not behaving as Mother Nature intended. You can't. And so that is not even worth comparing. And you can't just go, oh, my horse is walking around in his heel bulbs. If his heels are down to the hard sole plane and he's sound, then that's fine. But if your horse has been in shoes and has been from early life and has got caudal hoof failure, well, that's a different kettle of fish, because that's horses that have usually had their heels removed far too low and have had their toes left too long, which is what that looks like that foot is going towards, and happens on front and hind feet. And then what you then end up having is a very weak back of the foot. You still have to have the foot balance. So what are you going to do? Where are you going to go with that? It's caudal hoof failure is a big issue, and they are probably the trickiest horses' feet to deal with because they just aren't strong and they've not developed like they should have done. You're basically dealing with feet that are so weak that they're like baby feet.
Yeah, they haven't got enough substance. They haven't got enough foot. They haven't got enough. They just haven't got enough at the back
No,
of the foot.
no.
There's just not enough
The
there.
cushion's pathetic. The frogs
Everything
are a bit
is
pathetic.
yeah, because of early shoeing and not being able to develop as Mother Nature intended. All of those things have a negative impact on these potentially young horses. And that's probably why in that picture they wedged it up, because there wasn't enough at the back of the foot.
And they make it, they notoriously trim especially on hind feet, heels too low, so they can get the frog basically in line with the shoe. And it's so bad, because what it does is it then goes against everything that is natural for that horse. And they're guessing they're making it up. Oh, let's just make it up. Don't. You mustn't do that. You must follow the horse's natural parameters. And if your horse is if your horse is sound and your horse is just going through maintenance trim, there is no any reason on earth that you should not follow that horse's natural hard sole plane to guide you as to where the heels are. I would hate my job. Garry would hate his job if after 14 horses that he trimmed, right down to the little Shetland that he finished last, getting tired, getting a bit knackered because he's done a lot of rasping and a lot of nippering, it's a bit repetitive. Imagine if he got to the last few horses and went, oh God, I'm knackered now, I'll just leave a bit more, it'd be fine. I can't be bothered to take too much on the way, but yeah, that's cool. What? You can't do that. You can't do that, because if he did that at every trim, then the horse is doing this the whole time and that. So any horse that shod gets this all the time, every single time, because it changes, because it's guesswork, because it's PPT. You got to stop doing it. Everybody's got to stop doing, oh, I think I like my horse look like it's got more heel, let's upright it. That trimming method has gone out with the bathwater where it should be. That's bad news, uprighting heels. And then you get the other ones, oh, build more heel up at the back. What? Why are you walking around in that horse's feet? Why are you even imagining that is a good thing to do? You follow your horse's foot. If you've got a thoroughbred, if you've got a saddlebred, if you've got some of these hotter blooded horses, they're going to usually have lower heels at the back, right? With bulbs pretty much on the ground. I have an Appaloosa who's got strangely wide feet. It's weird. And he's got massive frogs, but they're big and wide. And he is on the ground with his heels and his frogs are low as. I look at him and I'm like, God, the hairline's practically on the ground. He's sound as a pound. It's not for us to make our mind up what it looks like. And I guarantee to you or anybody, if that's what you're doing, you're looking at the horse's foot from above, looking at it from up here, all 5'3" of me, looking down there at that horse's foot going, well, they don't look like they've got a lot of heel there. He's on his bulbs. I think we'll leave more heel. What? I'll pick the horse's foot up and I'm like looking at it going, right, good luck to you if you want to leave more heel on a horse with the hind feet on the hotter bloods, because they're just like, nah, my springs, I don't need a lot of heel and I probably won't grow a lot of heel. So good luck to you. But on front feet, we can mess about with those. Every time you leave too much heel above the hard sole plane, that it underruns. It shortens the surface area. And right, that as the toes growing down, it grows at a different angle to the heels and it shortens the surface area. And then just to add insult to injury, we're like, don't need the toe. Let's get rid of the toe. And then we shorten it even more. And the horse is going, God, I just wish I could have my foot back, because if I follow the hard sole plane, give the horse's foot back, P3, and that's what we care about, is in the right position. Stop piddling about with P3 at every darn trim. If everybody followed the heart soul plane, life would be sweet, and we wouldn't have caudal hoof failure because horses wouldn't be shod, because the diet and the management would be right. It's not good enough to say domestic horses, competition horses, they don't need it. They are brilliant on their own feet. All we have to do is respect them as a species. Sorry, I'm off my soapbox now. I can stop. Okay, there we go. Will there be a live tomorrow? Well, tomorrow you might be having a different kind of live if I can gather my students, because that was the plan. Only we've kind of all gone quiet about it. You may be getting, not from us, but you may be getting a live from the students tomorrow night, just like an Ask the Students thing. So you can talk about us if you like. Jackie said that's what we are dealing with. Megan says, joined late, but great to catch the end. Very interesting. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Megan. Right, my lovelies, it's very good to go. It's a very, very, very good live. Thank you. I was reading that as I was saying I'm going to go. I'm like, very good to go. What am I talking about? Thank you, Lindsay and Garry. You're all very welcome. We love you all. We'll see you on Thursday, probably. Hopefully. Let me just check one last final check of the calendar today. Yeah, we'll see you Thursday, and we'll definitely see you Friday. So we got some good lives this week, and probably tomorrow for the students. All right, then. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Love you all. Bye.